The Lakers open the Darvin Ham era tonight. The Rams lose their fourth offensive lineman for the entire season. And for a penny-pinching league like MLS, El Trafico is looking kind of expensive. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is a delightful Tuesday morning. It is October 18th, 2022. If you like the content that we've always been putting out now for 8 months now on LA Sports, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yes, comment. I'm not perfect. And besides that, one comment you do not need to make. Bro, you need a shave. I totally get it. I look like hell. Now, before we go through the news and notes from around LA, we'll take a quick look at the scoreboard from last night. We normally don't like to praise kickers. Who does? Right? Everybody else is out there risking life and limb. Kickers coming lottie-dying in on fourth down and whoops. But I got to tell you, Dustin Hopkins, kind of macho, 4 field goals, all with an injured hamstring, including the game winner in overtime, as the Chargers wound up defeating Denver 19-16. There's a rapid recap of that game. Look on the Chargers playlist. Also, the LA Kings last night needed overtime to defeat Detroit 5-4. Philip Deneau scores twice, including the game winner in overtime. Meanwhile, tonight, at 7 o'clock, the Darvin Ham era begins against the defending champions, Lakers at Golden State, 7 o'clock, and the Kings are in action again. They're going to play Nashville at 6:30. I would expect Cal Peterson to get the start and goal. Here's hoping he does a little bit better than last time. He's only played 1 game so far in the regular season. Gave up 6 goals. Bro, come on now. That is this era of Kings goaltending, okay? Just saying. So I originally wanted to do this big blowout on the Lakers and their start for the upcoming year. Who doesn't love the purple and gold unless you're a Lakers hater, right? But Lakers news is some of the most crap-filled clickbait you will ever see on the internet, right? There are conspiracy theories about Trump or Biden or Obama. That's clickbait crap. And then right just underneath it is Lakers trade rumors. It's all bull. I don't like cussing. And the stuff that we do know is true is so patently obvious that why should I break it down to where we can all nitpick this, that, and the other? Okay? We know that the team is running through Anthony Davis and LeBron James. We know LeBron James is kind of old. We know Russell Westbrook is probably going to be a cancer in the locker room. We know that most of the remaining players on the roster aren't that good, with the possible exception of, say, Patrick Beverley, right? We know all this. We know that the odds are pretty good that we're looking at a team that's about 500, should barely squeak into the playoffs. Unless, of course, LeBron and Anthony Davis go out of their mind and are healthy for the entire year. We know all of this. So why should I nitpick? Right? Now, having said that, I would say the one thing that we definitely have to look forward to, aside from them fighting like hell to get back to the playoffs, is LeBron James making a run, making history, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Which is, of course, unless he gets injured. If he does not get injured, it's going to happen around my birthday, which is approximately 77 days away. I don't want to give you a precise date for LeBron passing because, honestly, you never know. He could get on a run or get hurt. But if you're interested in my birthday, that's 77 days away. Feel free to look up the registry at walmart.com. Now, Kareem, for his part, he's already been very classy about it, said he'd be happy for LeBron. Quote, the game will always improve when records like that are broken, unquote. So he's cool with it. For his part, of course, LeBron had to walk back comments that he made saying that he didn't have any relationship with Kareem. It was kind of cold. You know, sometimes LeBron says things that kind of are a little off-putting. Whatever, it happens. The one thing I would say about the Lakers that you might not have known is that 7 players from last year's team are not even in the NBA anymore. That gives you an idea of how low the bar has been set for this team. And if you look at last year's team, it's clear the Lakers went younger. There's no more guys who need a walker to get up and down the court. There's no reason for anybody to call a timeout so that somebody could go get a prostate exam. It's a lot younger team. But are they any better? Again, we don't know. We don't know. As for the roster right now, Dennis Schrader, reserve point guard, he's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. He had a surgical procedure to repair a ligament in his thumb. They will probably have Russell Westbrook available tonight. You might recall last postseason game, he may have had a hamstring injury. If he can play, we don't know if it's going to be as a starter or if it's off the bench. That's up in the air. I wouldn't worry about it too much. The Lakers signed 4 point guards over the offseason. They were deep at point guard. It's probably going to be Patrick Beverley. And even if it is Patrick Beverley starting, the ball always starts and stops with LeBron James anyway, right? So it's not a big deal to lose a point guard. Also, center Thomas Bryant is day-to-day with a thumb injury, so we don't know necessarily if he's going to play. Left tackle Joe Noteboom is out for the season with a torn Achilles tendon. He'll have surgery on it this week. He blew it out against the Carolina Panthers. Alaric Jackson will take his spot. Noteboom is the 4th LA Rams lineman to miss the season due to injury this year. Just to give you an idea as to how whacked out that line has gotten over the course of time. And what I'm about to say about Noteboom is going to be cold-blooded. And I don't like myself for saying it, but we have to face facts. Sean McVay was calling out Noteboom over the course of the year. He was trying to be nice about it. He was saying, look, we need Noteboom to grow into the role of replacing Andrew Whitworth quicker than he has been. And also, if you look at the numbers, those advanced analytics stuff, Noteboom allowed a lot of quarterback pressures. Alaric Jackson steps into left tackle after the injury and allowed 0 pressures of Matthew Stafford. And the Rams have to do their best to keep Matthew Stafford upright. Now, does that mean Alaric Jackson is going to be able to withstand the pressure of the San Francisco 49ers in a couple of weeks? I'm not saying that. But maybe it's an upgrade, as cold-blooded as it sounds. The Rams are also going to get healthier this week. Players expected back during the bye include center Brian Allen, which is great because they needed somebody who's better at calling blocking schemes. Defensive backs Troy Hill and Kobe Durant, and as an offensive upgrade, wide receiver Van Jefferson should finally return, which will finally give additional options for Matthew Stafford with the brief amount of time that he's having in the pocket. Today, NFL owners will vote to whether or not force owner Stan Kroenke to pay $571 million to Missouri, to St. Louis, to the entities that sued the Rams over the Rams relocating back to LA. What we don't know yet is how Kroenke is going to pay it. You might recall we were talking about it last week about how they were saying maybe what they're going to do is they're going to have Kroenke not pay the fees for visiting teams coming into SoFi Stadium. The visiting team gets a percentage of the gate. So will Stan Kroenke get to use that money to pay off St. Louis? The other thing is this, we don't know if it's that going to be the plan, and we also don't know if Kroenke's on board. He might sue the NFL. Now, MLS is a penny-pinching league for the most part. They're not the Premier League. They're not La Liga. They think they have a pretty good league. I enjoy going to MLS games a lot. But let's be real, they're not a super league. They don't pay out a lot of money. So LAFC's mid-season spending spree for 5 players is actually significant because they forked out $10 million for these 5 players. Now, I understand in sports lingo, $10 million doesn't sound like a whole hell of a lot, right? The Dodgers, Andrew Friedman could break wind in his sleep and the Dodgers payroll goes up another $10 million. Just from that alone, I understand. But for LAFC to get Gareth Bale, to get Giorgio Chiellini et al., it hit them in the wallet for another $10 million. And the LA Galaxy, they didn't exactly stand pat either. They forked out another $3.4 million for Ricky Puig, for Gaston Brugman, for Caceres. So the El Trafico that's going to be played this week has about $14 additional million on the line in a cheapskate league like MLS. This is not insignificant. This is not insignificant for a league like MLS. And imagine being LAFC for a moment. They basically, if you think about it, wagered $10 million. And it could all go up in smoke in this particular game if they don't play well against the Galaxy. Think about it. That roster that they had prior to all those additions, they were already in position to win the Supporters' Shield, which they did. Those moves were not made to win the Supporters' Shield. Those moves were made to win MLS Cup and sell a ton of Gareth Bale jerseys, which they have done. But that is still a $10 million wager that could all go up in smoke if LA Galaxy wins. And by the way, LA Galaxy, they've only lost once in the last 12 matches. They're a threat. Here's another El Trafico fun fact for you guys. The last El Trafico that was actually in MLS Cup playoffs was in 2019. 2019. LA Galaxy has 0 players on the roster from that game to give you an idea of how much turnover they went through. None. Finally, preseason college basketball rankings have come out. UCLA basketball is ranked number 8th. They are the highest rated Pac-12 team in the rankings. There are 3 of them. Arizona and Oregon are in. USC is a regular in the preseason rankings. They've been in the preseason rankings for 6 of the last 7 years. And if you are wondering, USC only gained 3 votes. So they've got some work to do to impress people. But you know what would impress me? Letting me know what you think. There is a comments thread under this, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. So, thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe. And Faithful Angelenos is a Ken Corte El Queso production. Take care.